Welcome back to Finance Academy. In this video, we'll be picking up where we left off with the first part of Michael Dunlop's success story. Continuing from the previous video, he mentions that he should point out that this trick is no longer allowed by Google, but it was at the time. He didn't feel bad about it at all at the time because he knew advertisers were getting the targeted traffic from him, and it was just one of the tricks that online entrepreneurs were using just a few years ago. That said, it does not make it right, and he is glad that Google clamped down on it. After that, Michael still thought he could do better. He went to his good old friend eBay and bought around 2,000 website templates for £5, which included resale rights. He wrote some sales copy, created an advert to drive traffic to the page on his site, where he was selling the templates and managed to increase his daily earnings to over $200 with the help of advertising. WebDesignDev.com grew over 100 tutorials and 200,000 monthly visitors in weeks, and he was managing 1,000 advertising deals, all at the age of 16. It didn't last long though. First came the bad news from his host. Having a 13-year-old program your site meant that he may know a lot about programming, but that didn't actually mean his code worked well. They told him it was badly programmed, which caused huge issues with his server, and they finally shut Michael's site down. After moving to a new host, Michael found that he still had the same page problem, and shortly after that, he got contacted by Adsense, telling him that the site was banned from the program because of poor quality traffic. Then, there was a decline of interest in the template pack, so in the end, he decided to shut down the site and began his next project. The biggest lesson learned was that it is well worth the money hiring a professional. He decided to hire a 13-year-old programmer who was cheap, but lacked the skills to create a robust website that could handle a lot of traffic. From building ShoutGFX, he knew quite a bit about running a forum and promoting it. He decided to give it another try in a similar but a more mature market. The site went well, but never picked up like ShoutGFX, and he decided to sell it on SitePoint for around $1,500 a few months later. Biggest lesson learned here is that it's not always the best choice to spend your whole budget on building a website. Promoting it can be a far better use of funds. He spent $650 to buy the talkdev.com domain from a domainer, which may sound like a lot of money, but at the time he had big dreams for the site, and if it worked out, the price would be even well worth it. Retire at 21 was born out of an idea he got at the underground online seminar that Yannick Silver had held in the UK in 2006. He had noticed that there weren't very many young people in the internet marketing business, so he wanted to connect those people who did and inspire those who were not yet involved in internet marketing. His original idea for Retire at 21 was some sort of social site, and in fact, at the beginning, it went really well. Each user had a profile page, could leave comments, vote up and down young entrepreneurs, and they also had big contests. Along with that, Michael added pages about creating your own website and business and a bunch of other cool options. Although it had a great start, it still ended up with the same issue as the last time: bad coding. The most exciting day was when he released his Young Entrepreneur Rich List and received over 50,000 visitors in one day, and he was mentioned in newspapers around the world and was mentioned in AOL and Yahoo News, along with thousands of other sites. He even ended up appearing in a leading Brazilian newspaper. Over the years, they have worked hard to restructure the site, and in 2010, did plan to make the move to a new design and to use WordPress for all of the site, and not just the Young Entrepreneurs blog. With Retire at 21 finally earning some money, he decided to go back and look at WebDesignDev.com again. This was also just around the time of his near-death experience in Ghana. He always enjoyed web design dev and knew it had great potential. So he decided to hire a designer, and within 1 hour had a design that he liked and found a programmer to convert it from PSD to WordPress. Michael relaunched it using old tutorials, and it quickly made its way up to around 35,000 monthly visitors, but because he couldn't bring anything new to the site, struggled to bring it any further. Another main concern was monetization. He was banned from Adsense and couldn't get more than $300 to $500 for advertising on the site. Earlier in 2008, Michael went back to webdesigndev.com with a different approach, this time not to deliver step-by-step tutorials, but to give inspiration and showcase some of the best web design on the net. He says he was also fortunate to find a young writer who was interested in the web design niche and willing to write for a revenue share. This made a big difference, and they were able to bring the site from 30,000 visitors monthly to 160,000. Eventually, Michael sold the site for 5 figures. Michael says that he was fortunate enough to start his online business very young. He now realized that he started his business with very little in the way of overheads, since he was still living at home with his parents. A significant advantage for sure, but he mentions that he was no grade A student and he was really struggling from dyslexia. But I did have an unfair advantage, he says. He says that he was also fortunate that early on in his online career, he met and hung out with some of the most successful people online, such as Yannick Silver, James Schramko, Ryan Lee, and Alex Jeffries. He also says that so many people get disillusioned when their first blog or online business does not work out as they expected and make the fatal mistake of giving up. That's the end of Michael Dunlop's web development success story, although Michael has another success story in his endeavors with blogging. If you would like to see that story, please hit the like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification icon. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.